Tech Cocktail Conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
Hi, my name is James Sun. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pirq, and that's Pirq.com. And we're a Kirkland, Washington-based company that delivers a business solution to local merchants and at the same time gives consumers a tool to save money through their smartphone app. Well, luckily for me, I've had the fortunate opportunities to cross off my bucket list of being a contestant on Donald Trump's The Apprentice, but also host my own reality show called Sun Tzu War on Business, where I actually played the business guru and helped other entrepreneurs for 13 episodes in all different countries. I think the biggest difference between being the host and being the actual contestant is that with the contestant, you always have to worry about being fired. And am I going to make the next episode or not? So it's very, very short-term thinking, whereas when you're the host of a series of 13 episodes, you're really about the long term. And then it kind of parlays into the startup world as well, because you have to make decisions for the short term, but you have to assume that your company is going to be around in 5-7 years. And so it's a very interesting balance. I think the biggest challenge associated with being an Asian American entrepreneur is getting the support from family members, because most Asian American parents especially want their kids to go to school, go to grad school, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a dentist, whereas an entrepreneur, you take a very different path, and that path is not secure all the time. You may not make a paycheck all the time. You may have to forego for many years of sacrifice, working 80 hours a week and not getting paid and not having that potential doctorate degree or the pedigree that Asian American parents want. So a lot of times you don't get the support. But I would tell you that the Asian Americans who actually go and try to become an entrepreneur are very successful because they've got the analytical background, they've got the understanding of culture, but also understanding of how to be opportunistic as an immigrant in this country. I think the US entrepreneurs are one of the most unique breeds that I've ever seen in the whole world. When I was doing my television show, Sun Tzu War on Business, I actually traveled and met with entrepreneurs from Mumbai, India, all the way to Shanghai, China, to Melbourne, Australia, to Singapore. And what I noticed is that the US entrepreneurs are truly inspirational. They are dreamers. They have huge goals for themselves and expectations. Whereas in other countries, I see entrepreneurs who are trying to survive, are trying to just make a small business a little bit bigger, whereas US entrepreneurs are trying to build $1 billion company. So I think that's the biggest difference that I've seen. There's an interesting quote in Sun Tzu's Art of War that says, "Water shapes its course according to the ground over which it flows," which just simply means that in warfare you have to change action and make decisions very quickly according to your environment. That's the very same thing for entrepreneurs and startup companies, is that you might think that your business model is going to be A, but it might switch. It probably will switch to a business model B. But you have to know when to do that, and you have to look at the market forces. You also have to look at the microeconomy to look at in your industry, in your vertical, do you have to switch according to how your climate and your competitors are attacking that market, and how are you going to segment that market differently? So I think there's so many different factors that you have to look at constantly, that the minute that you think your business model or your market or your product is going to last for 5 years, you're wrong. You're going to have to change course, action, and pivot all the time and be able to manage those changes.